What's up, math fans? Today we're doing linear equations. Hopefully you already know two things about linear equations. One thing is linear means line, all right? So if you see linear, the word line is right in the word linear. It's not a trick. It means you're writing an equation of a line. And if you look at this line here, there's an infinite amount of points on that line, but if you can just zero in on, focus on 2 points, you can do anything you want. So I got 2 points for you. I got point A, 1 comma 2, and point B. This is A, this is B. And your job is to find out everything you can possibly find out about this line. So in order to write a linear equation, and you're given 2 points, you need to know how linear equations look. Hopefully you already know this. Y equals mx plus b. This is generally how a linear equation is written. It's considered standard form. It's how most people want to see their equation. There's a bunch of other ways to write it, but this is basically a nice clean version of a line. So you got your y, your dependent, your x, your independent, and your m, which is the slope, and your b, which is the y-intercept. You should know that the m is the slope. A lot of people, when they hear the word slope, they go, oh, y equals mx plus b. No, just the m is the slope. The b, by the way, is the y-intercept. That's where this line crosses the y-axis. So it's actually right here. That's your b. And it's hard to see on this diagram because it's a fraction. If it was clear, then you wouldn't need to do this whole procedure that I'm about to do. You would just point and say, oh, the y-intercept is 1 or 2 or wherever it's crossing. But here it's a fraction, it's kind of confusing, so you actually have to do math. Alright, so I want to know slope. So you got to know this also, and if you don't, check out my video on calculating slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I explained that as rise over run, or the change in y over the change in x. The rise is the y-axis, the x is the run. Okay? So the lazy way to do it is they're going to give you 2 points. They probably won't even give you the graph. They're just going to give you 2 points. You put the 2 points on a graph and you start to count on the graph paper. You count boxes. What's my rise? How do I get from A to B? I count straight up and then I count straight over. And whatever my up is the rise, whatever my over is the run, and I'm done. You just count boxes. But I'm actually not going to count boxes. You can do that on your own. I'm going to do the formula. In order to do this formula, I got to know what my y's are and what my x's are. Well, label it. Here is x1, y1, and here is x2, y2. A lot of people like to do it in their head or just do it quick. It's safe to label your points. That way when you're filling in this formula, you don't really mess up. So y1 and y2 go first. The rise goes first. So that's 14 minus 2 over 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1. So my slope is, let's see here, 14 minus 2 is 12, 10 minus 1 is 9. Your slope is 12 over 9. If you can reduce or divide it, you should. I'm going to try. I'll divide by the GCF, the greatest common factor is 3. So really my slope is 4 over 3. There we go. I already found the slope. 4 over 3. If you were counting boxes, you would have said, oh, I went up 12 and over 9. Alright, my rise 12, my run 9 really means I go up 4 over 3 and I land here. Up 4 over 3, I land here. Up 4 over 3, I land here. So remember I said it's an infinite amount of points? I'm just focused on the 2 main ones. I'm going to erase everything. Except for this. Keep this in mind. 4/3 is your slope. Okay? I need an eraser for this. Alright. Now, what was the original task? The task is to write an equation of the line. The reason you want to write an equation of a line is because you might want to predict the future and see what happens later on if that line continues going forever. I know 1 and 2, I know 10 and 14. What happens at 20? What happens at 30? So if I have an equation, I can always plug in new numbers. So I got my m. My m is 4 over 3. I know that y equals mx plus b. I wish I had an x and a y so that I could fill it in. Oh, I do. I'm going to pick the easy one. You can pick either point you want. I'm going to pick the easier point. So x is 1, right? X is 1 and y is 2. And y is 2. So now I'm just going to plug all of this in here. Y is 2 equals m is 4/3 times x, which is 1, plus b. So now I'm trying to solve for b. Well, this is very basic PEMDAS. You're just going to multiply first. 4/3 times 1. Anything times 1 is that thing. So 2 equals 4/3 plus b. Subtract 4/3 on both sides. And 2 minus 4/3 gives me my answer. There's 3 ways to get this answer. One is you just straight type in the calculator 2 minus parentheses 4 divided by 3, close parentheses, 2 minus 4/3. I think they give you a decimal. After you get your decimal answer, you press math, and you find where it says fraction, and you turn that decimal into a fraction. You press enter, enter twice, I think. And it should give you 2/3. So B equals 2/3. If you're good with finding the common denominator, you can put 2 over 1. Find a common denominator. Actually, 2 over 1 is the same as multiply by 3 on top and bottom. Gives me 6/3. 6/3 minus 4/3 is 2/3. So you can do, if you're good at fractions, do it yourself. Turn into decimal, get a decimal answer. Otherwise, just go straight to the calculator. It gives you your answer, 2/3. So my B is 2/3. My M is 4/3. Make your equation. Y equals 2. So, nope. Y equals 4/3 mx, right? This is my M. mx plus, what's my B? 2/3. And I'm done. And this is pretty much as hard as it gets for this kind of question because usually they give better numbers, whole numbers, so it comes out prettier than this instead of fractions. I did the ugly one on purpose. If you're comfortable with fractions, you can definitely do it for whole numbers. In fact, try it. Try number 2 on your own, all right? I'm only going to run through it with you because, oh no, negatives, I'm scared of that too. So I'm going to do that with you also. We're going to start the same exact way. I'm not even going to waste time graphing it. I know I need 2 things. What are the 2 things you need? Slope, y-intercept. So let's do that. Let me get my slope. I got a room now, I can work over here. Label your points. x1, y1, x2, y2. So, what's the next? So what's my slope? -2 minus is in the formula, and then -5. A lot of people feel like, oh, because there's a minus sign already there, they don't have to put the minus from the formula. No, you gotta put both. Over -1 minus -2. Now, if you're scared of subtraction signs, get the calculator. If you know what to do, you actually do keep change opposite, so it becomes -2 plus +5, which is actually +3, over -1 plus +2 is actually +1. So that worked out pretty well. I got a positive answer. 3 over 1 is 3. So I already know my slope is 3. Now what did I say? What do I do next? What do I do? Let's see, y equals mx plus b, right? And I know to pick my favorite point, I'm going to go with this one, the easier one, -1 comma -2. -1 comma -2. So y is -2. Okay? Equals m is 3. X is -1 plus b is the thing I'm trying to find. So -2 equals 3 times -1 is -3 plus b. Add 3 to both sides, the inverse, so I can get b alone. -2 plus 3 is 1. Ooh, b equals 1 and m equals 3. I am done. All right, put it together. Y equals 3x plus 1. Once you have an equation, you can graph it. You can plug in any number you want for x, see what happens in the future. Put in negative numbers to see what happened in the past, whatever you want to do. All right, thanks for watching. See ya.